Hey everyone, I'm really excited today because I've been working with some coaches who've been having some challenges in getting clients, and fortunately for them and for all of us who work in coaching, there's only a few barriers really that are there that prevent us from being able to get clients. And so it's really simple to find these sticking points and to help people get free. And so what I thought is I would just turn on the camera and show you one of those places. And I'm thinking if you guys like it, I'll probably show a few more of these barriers. But here is barrier number one. And barrier number one is actually messaging and marketing. That is the majority of the problem for really almost every coach that I know, is that they're trying to sell coaching. And I want to give you a hint. I know that we do coaching. I know we're in the coaching business. You just don't sell coaching. And there's a really good reason why. Because no one knows what coaching is. Okay? I don't know if you guys have ever tried to explain coaching to someone. If you have ever succeeded in telling someone what coaching is outside of them experiencing it, then you're doing better than the 99.9% of the rest of us. And maybe you should tell us what that hint is. We don't sell coaching. That's got to be the first thing that we've got to kind of get our heads wrapped around. Secondly, when you are doing all of your marketing, whether that be through social media or your website, what I can tell you is that on most of the coaching websites that I go to, and we're followed by a lot of coaches, and honestly, I know many of you are watching me right now, and maybe you're some of those people who are struggling to get moving forward. Often I will look at people's Instagram, their Facebook, their website, and I can see some of the real trouble areas. I can tell, knowing that this is the number one barrier, I can tell by looking at most people's Instagram, Facebook, or their website whether or not they have clients or not. That's how easy it is to be able to notice. If I see them doing a bunch of yoga poses, like they're a bunch of Zen masters, or it's just a lot of generic kinds of things like that, it's fine if you do yoga. It's just that when someone looks at your website, when they look at your Instagram, they should know in about 3 seconds what it is that you do, who you help, and what problems that you help people solve. But again, we're not trying to explain coaching to people because we're not trying to sell coaching. We've got to make our messaging, first of all, it's got to be very simple. People are simple people. And anytime there's a complicated marketing message, I guarantee you there is a barrier that's being created to keep people from working with you. So for one, if they don't understand what you do and you're trying to tell people what you do, then that's a barrier. So we don't go there. What we've got to do is we've got to help people in this way. We've got to help people understand that we know what they want. That's the first thing. And that we also know what their obstacles are. So this is Marketing 101. If you guys are kind of wondering about this is what most coaching websites are missing. Most of you who are doing social media, you're missing this. So get this. Simple marketing is answering these questions. What does your ideal client want? Do you know what they want? And the second question is this. What are their obstacles? What right now is keeping them from having what they want? There's something. Maybe it's fear. It can be a number of different things. But I find that a lot of coaches, first of all, their message isn't simple. So they're saying, well, my clients want a lot of things. You know, they want work-life balance. They want a better relationship with their spouse. They want better relationships with their kids. They want to make more money or whatever. Listen, it's too much. And I know some of you want to be life coaches because you're like, I can just help anybody with anything. Well, you guys who want to help anybody with anything will continue to struggle with this barrier and you won't get clients. What you've got to do is you've got to come up with this answer. What does your ideal client want? Define who your ideal client is. Define what they want. And what this is right here. Let me show you what the target is right here, okay? We need a target. So if you want people to hit the target, what we've got to define then is what is their one simple desire. Don't try to give 2 of them. Don't try to give 3. Don't try to give 5 of them. Pick one. What is the one main desire? This is how you choose your niche. The one big desire that all of these people want, and you need to define it, and you need to clarify that in all of your marketing. This is going to help people who maybe will never use your service, but if they're in your network, if they know the one simple desire that you're trying to get for people, then it helps them zone in, hone in, and get you connected to people. Now, here's the second thing. What are their obstacles? So that all of your marketing, all of your messaging that you do and everything is all about your client. It's not about you. So most coaching websites that I go on, there's a huge about page that has like 3,000 words on it. Listen, if you're doing any page that has really more than 500 words, it's way too much. You need to cull it, you need to dial it in, and you need to use fewer words. And the other part of it is that you're not the hero in this story, okay? The client's the hero, but they're being tested because right now they don't have their simple desire. Because why? Because they have obstacles. So what we've got to do is we've got to help them understand that we know what they want and we understand what their obstacles are, because what we are going to do, what they're going to pay for, are solutions. Or better said, they are going to pay for results. This is what people want. So don't just say, I'm going to help you get your best life. Don't just say, I want you to work and do your next bold step and some of the other cliche kinds of things that people say, okay? This means that you need to know what your client is and you need to dial these in. And if you'll dial them in, you'll effectively remove this barrier because it's a communication barrier. Here's what I believe. There's 7.5 billion people on the planet. There's more than enough people to fill up your client book, okay? You really only need 5 to become a 6-figure coach anyway. We show our Jumpstart coaches actually how to do that. But here's the thing, is that there's plenty of people who will work with you. There's tons of people who would be beating down your door if you can begin to get this messaging clear. And so what we've got to do in this messaging, and here's another little hint, and we'll talk more about it, is that we've got to create messaging that starts building a bridge between us and that client. We've got to have our messaging that's written so well, that's put together so well, that, listen, you could go into a networking group today and you could pitch this in 30 seconds or less. That's how well it should be dialed in. Somebody goes on your website, they should know in 3 seconds these things. What do people want? What do they desire? What are the obstacles that are in the way? They should know in seconds. And the next part, and we'll talk about it in the future, is that you've got to do it in a way that builds trust and it builds likability. Hey, if you've enjoyed this and this is kind of like stirring things in you, I want you to know that most schools leave their students out in the cold. As soon as they give them their certificate, they shut the door and they wave from the window and say, okay, go do it, with just a vague notion on how to get clients. And so we designed a Jumpstart program just to address this. Listen, coaching's 90% what you do in business, and it's 10% the skills that you learned in school. We understand that. And so we developed a business development roadmap. We have weekly mentoring. We look at what people are doing and we help them get their barriers out of the way to get clear on what they want so that they can build their coaching practice around them authentically and they can step into the lives that they really want. So if you're interested in that, it's in the description. Listen, I appreciate you guys a ton. Have a great rest of your week and take care.